Alright guys, so on February 11th we are getting the new Legendary Event, and they're going to be trying something a little bit different, and we already know about this information, of course. I just wanted to go a little bit deeper in this because in the future this could possibly change some reruns that are going to be coming back, so that's why I just sort of wanted to talk about it a little bit more, and what this could mean for the future of Legendary Event Pokemon. So we know Xerneas and Yveltal are going to be coming. Clearly, it says it right there. Like, Flying DBZ, what are you thinking? Like, it says it. We already know that. But anyways, we know Xerneas and Yveltal are going to be coming, and one of them will be summonable. And then the other one that is not going to be summonable, of course, is going to be the traditional way of getting them. So, like, you just beat the Legendary event, and then you get that Legendary Pokemon, which is nice. And then what they decided to do now is the counterpart is going to be summonable. And honestly, I knew this was gonna come eventually, but I just didn't know when. And obviously, like, one of the times I think I could possibly do it is, of course, during a celebration like this, or the 2-year anniversary and stuff like that. So, I knew something like this was gonna come. Because it was just so weird that they were releasing just one of those, like, big mascot legendaries, and then just not releasing the other one as well. So I think this is a way to sort of fill in that gap. So, like, if, like, for example, in this case, Xerneas and Yveltal, both of them are coming, but one of them is going to be summonable, and then one of them is going to be free to play. So that I was expecting that for sure. But what does this mean for the other Legendary Event Pokemon? Obviously they could do that as well. So, like, with Palkia making his return, possibly, like, maybe, like, it's a very slim chance, but, like, maybe we can get Dialga to make an appearance during the Palkia rerun, so that could be a possibility for sure. But Xerneas and Yveltal, they're coming on February 11th, so of course we're going to be seeing who is going to be the summonable one closer to that date, especially when we get our data mine information, which would actually be very soon. In the next, like, maybe few days, we should be getting some data mine information, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But anyways, because of all this new stuff that they're doing, or because of this new thing that they're doing with the Legendary event, I decided let's take a look at some of the legendary Pokemon that could come back with their counterparts. So let's go right into that right now. So of course the first one, like I was saying, is Dialga. So we know Palkia is going to be getting his rerun as well. Now, they didn't say anything about this, because of course, like, this would be big news, of course, because it's Sinnoh. A lot of people love Sinnoh, and a lot of people love the legendaries in Diamond and Pearl, like Palkia, Dialga, Giratina. So, like, they're not gonna be saying anything like this. And then, of course, like, I think the main protagonist, besides Dawn in Diamond and Pearl, is Lucas, I think his name is. So, like, he could possibly have Dialga when Palkia comes back. I'm just speculating based on what the new legendary event is going to be on. Like one of them is going to be summonable and one of them is not. So of course with Palkia coming back, Dialga being the summonable legendary could be a possibility. So then you summon for Dialga, and then you go through the Palkia legendary event again with Dialga this time around. So I think that would be very cool, of course. But if we look at Dialga, he is obviously going to be a striker. That would be a special attacker, because his special attack stats are actually pretty good. It is a base stat total of 680, which is actually pretty high. But most of these legendaries, or if not all of these legendaries, are going to have a high base stat in general, because they are legendary Pokemon. And we know his like signature move is Roar of Time, and it is a special Dragon type move, and it does have a high base power. So Dialga will 100% be hitting very hard. So that's another reason why Dialga probably was not the free-to-play one, because Roar Time was obviously going to be a strong move, and just based on his kit and everything, like, or his possible kit, it doesn't really seem like a free-to-play Pokemon. And then he'll have Flash Cannon, of course, because it's a Steel type move, just like Dialga being part Steel and Dragon. And with Roar of Time, though, like, I don't know, maybe it could be a special AoE Dragon type move, just based on how the animation is in the games for Dialga and Roar of Time. I don't know, that could be a possibility, but yeah, when Dialga comes, he's gonna be good for sure, because of that high base power for Roar of Time. And then we got Flash Cannon, which is actually a pretty solid Steel type special move as well. And then the special attack being like pretty high, 438 maxed out, which is good. And then his ability, Telepathy, it's a hidden ability. but what is it? I can't remember exactly. Pokemon with the telepathy ability will not take damage from teammates in double battle and triple battles. So yeah, this is basically useless in Pokemon Masters. Just because like you can't take AoE damage from your own team. So like telepathy will be weird. So like maybe he'll keep pressure. Pressure makes any attack targeted at the ability bearer, regardless of whether it's a hit. Uses 2 BP instead of 1. Okay, so yeah, again, maybe they could do something like this in Pokemon Masters. So like if Dialga is in the field and he has pressure, when they use a move with 2 BP, instead of costing them 2 BP, it would cost them 3 BP or 4 BP or something like that. And then if player versus player comes to the game, of course, this kind of ability will be insane against players in player versus player, which would actually be very good. But yeah, Dialga is one of these candidates that could actually be very good. Like, of course, with Palkia making his return for the Legendary Event. Dialga being the summonable legendary when his rerun comes is a possibility, but I don't think it would happen anytime soon. But with how they are doing it with Xerneas and Yveltal, this could be a possibility, of course. Like, don't get your hopes up high, but I'm just saying that with what they're doing with the legendary events now, this could be a possibility. So let's move on to the next one and talk about that one. Alright, and then the next legendary is Lugia, of course, because we know Ho-Oh and Silver are in the game. So, of course, when Ho-Oh makes his return again, because his event is out right now, so like in the future, possibly when his rerun comes back, we can get Lugia as a summonable sync pair. And then, of course, like, let me know what you guys think of this. Like, do you think that they're going to continue this route? And that's why I'm making this video. In case they are making this legendary event, like this new style of the legendary event, like a permanent thing, then we could possibly see these as summonable sync pairs in the future when these legendary event Pokemon come back. So that's why I'm making this, but let me know what you guys think. Like, do you like what they're doing with this? Personally, like, I don't mind it. Would I prefer if some of these legendaries were free? Of course, because then, of course, everybody could enjoy these sync pairs, but sometimes you just gotta deal with it, I guess. But personally, I don't really mind. But the next one, of course, is Lugia, because we know Ho-Oh is in the game, and then he has a flying psychic type, which I actually really like. And then his pressure, or his ability is pressure. And most of these legendaries have pressure, but it's their hidden ability that really makes them good as well. And then he has reduces damage when HP is full. And then when Lugia does come to the game, I could see him having this kind of ability, and this would actually be a very good tank. So like Lugia would most likely be a support legendary. And then having this this ability would be very, very good for sure. And then we look at his stats, like we can see that his special defense stat is very high. So like having that ability combined with his special defense and his physical defense stat is actually pretty solid too. So like with that ability and then his defensive stats, like this guy would be an insane tank in Pokemon Masters. And then for his moveset too, of course, like his signature move is Aeroblast. And then he could possibly have Recover, making him an even better tank, and then maybe Calm Mind they could introduce to the game, so then his special defense gets a little bit stronger too, along with his special attack, making him a little bit stronger offensively as well. Or he could possibly have Sky Attack, but that's a recoil move, I'm pretty sure. Is it... and deals damage and has a 30% chance with. I think this is a recoil move. But anyways, his signature move is Aeroblast, so like he could possibly have that, of course. But like his ability mixed with his defensive stats, like we know Palkia or Lugia is gonna be a very good tank, and when he does come to the game, like he's most likely gonna be a tank or a tech type. I don't see him being a striker just due to the fact that his highest stats are his defensive stats. So let's do another one with Ho-Oh when he comes back in the future, maybe. And like I said, this is if they plan on continuing with what they're doing with the Xerneas and Yveltal Legendary event. So just keep that in mind. So let's move on to the next one. And then, of course, with Galio, we got Lunala. And Lunala is one of those other Pokemon like Lugia that has that damage reduction abilities. So it reduces damage when the HP is full, but it's just named a little bit differently, but it does the same thing. So like, of course, like Lunala could possibly be a support as well, or a tech type, but like if we look at his stats, we can see that his highest stat, like out of his base stat total of 680, his highest stat is his special attack stats. So like, and his defensive stats aren't really that high. So like his offensive stats are more higher. So of course, like we can see him as a striker, and then a striker with that damage reducing ability. This could be very, very good, and this could make Lunala a very good striker in the game. Because then, like, when you're at full HP, like, you could heal yourself up, and then you could have that damage reducing effect take place as well, which would be insane. So, like, having that would be insane, because then you could survive sync moves no problem. You could tank so much. So having those abilities, especially for a striker, would make them very, very good, if not maybe busted as well. So like, there's many candidates that could actually make or can actually be top spot and make Charizard in red number 2. So there's a lot, but it might take a lot. So like, of course, these legendaries have a possibility of just making Charizard in red number 2. And then if we go to their moveset, like their signature move is Moongeist Beam. I think that's how you say it. It's probably not, but but the effect for this move is like, it ignores the target's ability, which is good. And it's a base power of 100, so like Lunala as a striker is a high possibility. So like, Lunala could come back with, or can come with a Solgaleo event in the future as well. So, and Lunala is actually a very cool Pokemon. I prefer Solgaleo, but Lunala is definitely a very cool looking Pokemon. So let's go to the final one, and these ones are not in the game, but of course, like, when they decide to bring them into the game, they're gonna have to split them up. So like, if they were to continue with what they're doing with Xerneas and Yveltal, the one of them is gonna be summonable, and then one will be free to play, of course. So let's take a look at that one in just, well, right now. Alright, and then the final one is, of course, Groudon and Kyogre, and they are going to be coming to the game eventually as well. And then when they possibly come to the game, they could have their primal forms as well. So like, of course, the free-to-play one, like, they could have the primal form, which would make sense, especially if the summonable one is going to have their primal form too. But if Groudon and Kyogre come to the game and they have their primal forms, expect Rayquaza to get a major buff. So like, Rayquaza getting a Mega Evolution, because Rayquaza is with Groudon and Kyogre. So like, when these two come to the game and they have their primal forms, expect Rayquaza to get some kind of buff as well. So just keep that in mind. So like, in terms of like Kyogre and Groudon, like, who would be summonable, it's hard to say because they're literally counterparts to each other. Just Groudon is like the ground type, and then Kyogre is the water type, so it really, like, it just depends. But like, we'll just take a quick look at their stats actually. And like, for the first one, like, of course, Groudon, like, we can see over here, his ability is draw. So like, when he enters the battle, he brings sun into the field, which should actually be a nice free sunny day for a bunch of fire types or a bunch of Pokemon that would actually benefit in the sun. So Groudon coming to the game, even if he's free to play, would be very beneficial for a lot of Pokemon as well, of course. And then like, when we look at his stats, like, he has a very high physical attack stat, along with his physical defense is actually pretty good too. And then like, he has a base stat total of 670, just 10 points lower than the other legendaries that we already looked at too. And then when we look at his primal form, wait, is that primal form, or is that, okay, no, this is regular Groudon, and then this is primal. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, so then we can see his primal form. Like, his physical attack gets a lot higher, his physical defense gets very high as well, and then his special attack gets a little bit better too. So but of course, the Pokemon Masters, like, the special attack stat isn't really going to matter unless they give him Eruption when he gets to his primal form. Who knows? But regardless, his physical attack stat and his physical defense stat get a lot better when he's in primal form. So and clearly, like, his base stat is, or his base stat total is 770 after he's in primal form. So he gets very good. And then when we look at his move set, of course, like, he has this move right here, which is very good, and it's actually a very cool move, especially in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Like, this move's animation is just very nice. I like it. And then in Pokemon Masters, this would actually be a very sick looking move, honestly. with the modern animations and everything, like, this move is going to be very cool. But this move, like, it deals damage and hits all opponents in double and triple battles. So this would be another AoE ground type move, so Groudon would honestly be very good. And then you could possibly have Rock Slide, or you could have Bulldoze, but it wouldn't make sense for Bulldoze if that move is also an AoE, so it would be weird. Maybe you could have Stomping Tantrum. There's a bunch that they could do with Groudon, of course. Oh wait, no, those were moves that you can learn from TMs. My bad. So yeah, then maybe when he when he gets to his primal form, he could have Eruption too. So like this is Groudon. This is a high possibility, of course. Well, Groudon and Kyogre will come eventually, but who knows if they'll have their primal forms. But if they do, then expect Rayquaza to get his Mega Evolution too. So let's take a look at Kyogre right now. And then this is Kyogre, so like he's water, and then he has Drizzle, which is the same thing as Kyogre but rain. So like having Kyogre in the game is also going to benefit Pokemon that are better in the rain. And then we can see his stats over here. He's, like I said, the counterpart to Groudon, so he's going to be more of the special side of things, so like special defense, special attack. And then when when he's in his primal form, he gets there we go, primal. Okay, so then we can see like his attack does get better, but like of course his special attack stat is going to be very high, including his special defense. And then when we look at his moves, he has Origin Pulse, which is his signature move, and it's a 110 base power. And Origin Pulse deals damage and hits all opponents. So it's literally like Groudon and Kyogre are literally like counterparts to each other. So no matter like who becomes free to play and who becomes summonable, they're most likely going to be the same anyways. Just one you're going to have to summon for, and then one is going to be free to play. But like I said, if one of them, if they become primal form, like if they get their primal forms, of course expect Rayquaza to get his Mega Evolution. So that would be very cool, of course. But like Rayquaza has his legendary event, so like when Rayquaza comes back, is Groudon or Kyogre gonna have their legendary event too, or is both of them, or are both of them gonna be summonable? So that is gonna be interesting for sure. So that is gonna be something we're gonna need to keep an eye on for the future, of course. But who knows? That's gonna be interesting for sure. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Like, do you like the way that they're gonna like? It's not like permanent right now as we know of, but like of course like it is a possibility that they can stay with this kind of new legendary event system. So let me know what you guys think. Personally, I don't mind it. I think it would be cool, of course, because then we could finally start getting the counterparts to these legendaries, which would be nice. But like I said, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.